Welcome back to the channel, folks. You're watching this on X, Rumble, and Facebook. This is my first Facebook live stream in a while. Make sure if you're watching this after the fact to like, follow, share. Please share, because this is valuable information, crucial information. I'm going to be bringing Sid on in just a little minute. But make sure you do all those things, guys. Share, share, share. You've got full permission to rip this down and post it in whatever platform you want. Because I am banned off YouTube. So if you want to rip this down and post it on your own YouTube, you've got full permission to do that. So I'm going to bring Sid on now. And Sid is the guy who approached me in Dublin. He had a conversation with me. He gave me a book, this book here. And he's going to give you the website where you can get this book. I'm going to post all the relevant links to this Irish Constitution. Where you can get this book. I think he's giving it away for free PDF file, or you can get the book version too. And the link for that, all the links for all those things can be found in the Facebook description, the Rumble description, and you'll be able to find it on my X also. So let's bring on Sid now. He's going to explain to you the two Irish constitutions. I thought there was only one. There's two. And he's going to explain to you in in-depth detail. So make sure, as I say, to share this if there's people out there that are into this type of content, and share this to people who need to hear this. It's very important that you do that. So Sid's going to come on right now. He's going to correct me on a lot of things because it's hard to understand, but Sid, as I say, knows this in detail. So Sid, how are you doing?
Hey Ronan, how's things?
All good, mate. Listen, first off, I have to say massive respect to yourself for coming on and doing this here. There's a few watching here already. This is streaming live on Facebook, X, and Rumble. We can't see any of the Rumble comments. I apologize about that. But Sid, I think how we'll start this off is let's get into the nitty-gritty of it for the people who need that information straight away. Just brief the people on who you are yourself and what's the difference between the two constitutions.
Well, look, I'll tell you what I'll do. Well, look, first of all, I'm Sid. I'm part of a group called bunreact, and we know that the blue constitution that they use is not the correct one. The blue constitution is what's called a working definition of law. It's a colour of law. Basically, what that is a book of commerce. It's not a law book. It's a book of commerce, book of rules that brings us into maritime law. So what we want to do, we want to have the jurisdiction corrected. See, in this country now, there's two jurisdictions, the blue constitution and the yellow constitution, which is this one here. This is on bunreact. We want the jurisdictions corrected to have the proper law of the land that this one gives us. See, all I ever hear is problems. But nobody ever offers solutions, and what we have is a viable solution. I'm not telling you it's the solution, but it is a viable solution, And thousands of euros and hundreds of hours of research was put into this. So everything that I'm about to tell you is all facts. And if anyone wants to prove me wrong, if anyone says I'm wrong, they don't have to prove me wrong. Can't just say I'm wrong. That's the best I can do.
Yeah, well, I think it's very important, because one of the key things for my simple brain, because obviously this is a very technical subject, was to understand what you were saying in sort of simple terms. So, what does it mean then? Why is this constitution not active? The Irish constitution, and I suppose that's the question I have for you. So we spoke behind the scenes. You said there's the Constitution of Ireland, and then there's the Irish Constitution. This is the Irish Constitution, right?
Yeah.
So then, what's the difference? Why is it so technical when it comes? So basically, the blue book is the Constitution of Ireland, but it's not the Irish Constitution. This is. Yeah. What's the difference? Why? What's the difference with the wording?
The one you have in your hand is for the Irish people. That favours the Irish people. Whereas the blue one is not, well, it is for the Irish people, but not as strongly as that one. So the blue one is more for the government. That one is for the people. So
Right. So then, so how would this book benefit us then? Why would you want? Can we change it over to this? Why would we want this book then? Why not just stick with the blue book?
Because that's not for the Irish people. Because in that book there's the text, the Irish text, Clough Gaelic. The Clough Gaelic is the law, right? There's no Clough Gaelic in the blue book. Therefore, it's not law. It's only legal. It's only rules, statutes, and acts. And the Clough Gaelic is antecedent to all positive law. Positive law is your acts, your statutes, and rules, basically. But the Clough Gaelic is antecedent. It means it's more powerful than so the laws in this book are more powerful than the laws in the blue book for the Irish people and for the Irish people. I'm just going to continue on here. Look, I'm going to give you a bit of a background to it instead of, maybe you ask me those questions a little bit later on. I just want to give a bit of a background to what this is and why it's so important,
Yes.
Will I go ahead? Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Right, 100%. Yes, go ahead.
So basically, that's what that yellow book is, a full 63 article Clough Gaelic version of the Constitution, right? It was enacted by plebiscite on the 1st of July 1937. The plebiscite is a referendum. It was an all-Ireland referendum, and it was enacted on the 1st of July 1937, and it's been in operation since the 29th of December 1937, right? And it still to this day holds the full force of law. Still to this day, okay? But you haven't been told that. You've now just been told it, but this holds the full force of law, right? The name of the state is there, right? The name of the state is there, okay? It's not Ireland. Ireland is only accepted in the English tongue, okay? Just to me, the Ireland is only accepted in the English tongue, okay? To prove to you the name of the state is there, now I asked you, Ronan, to bring a coin with you, right? You didn't have a coin with you. So if anybody in the audience has an Irish coin, right, pick it out, right, and have a look at the name on it, right? On it is there. Now only a sovereign government can give that out. Only a sovereign government can issue the coinage. So that's the name of the state. That's the name of the country. The name of the country is there. And everyone's going around saying Ireland. And if you don't know the name of the country, first of all, they're going to legislate against you. And that's what they've been doing. They can't legislate as easy against Eire as they can against Ireland. Right? So we are not the Republic of Ireland. And it's not the Northern Ireland either. They're two acts of the Crown. They're two statelets within a state called Eire. I don't even recognise the Republic of Ireland. I didn't even recognise Northern Ireland. It's Ulster. Republic of Ireland Act was in 1948 and the Northern Ireland Act was in 1920. Right, so that's what they are. They're acts of the Crown. That's what keeps us into that blue book. Because the blue book is an act of the Crown. So in the preamble, right, of the Constitution, there's one line in it, right? It says, "We the people of Eire." Now it says that in both the Irish and the English. It doesn't say "we the people of Ireland." It doesn't say "we the people of the Republic of Ireland." It says "we the people of Eire." So we're running around saying it's Ireland, the Republic of Ireland. So because we don't know who we are, that's what they're doing. They're legislating us out of existence. And unless we start to realise that we're Eire, we're not Ireland, we're not the Republic of Ireland, they're going to keep doing what they're doing because we're not fighting back.
So basically, the blue book is the Constitution of Ireland, but this book here, this is Eire. This is Eire. This is
the Irish Constitution.
This is the Irish Constitution, and it's highly beneficial for the politicians in power right now in Ireland. I know you don't like saying the Republic of Ireland, but for people to understand, in the Republic of Ireland and the North to a certain degree, in regards to the power sharing in the North here, it's highly beneficial for them to keep the blue book and not have this. So they don't want this to get out. They don't want the public in Ireland as an island to know about
Eire. The public in Eire. The whole island.
Yeah. It's something to get used to though, and it's the lingo, it's the actual, it's how you speak actually means a lot in regards to the conversation that we're having here. So that's what I'm saying. They don't want this. They don't want the masses in Era to know about this. You're probably the most avoided man in Ireland. You try to have conversations.
Well,
What
the group
what is
the group will be the most avoided group, I'd say. Yeah,
the
they don't
group?
want any attention. They don't want any attention on us at all. They want negative, any kind of attention at all.
Right. And that to me is, for anybody watching this here, you need to understand how the system works. Whenever the system is afraid of books like this, the Constitution of Ireland, the real Constitution of Ireland, they will try to suppress all information, and they will go to any lengths to discredit this. And, you know, just for people to understand, there has been, we'll say, some coincidences where people have left the job after maybe being given this information. Would it be correct about that?
Well, at the protest last week, when I met you, I came across a solicitor who was training. I came across a man who was training a solicitor, and he's actually said to me that he was thinking of leaving because he knows about this book now. That's what happened.
So a solicitor, and this is
trainee solicitor, not solicitor, trainee solicitor.
And like, for people to understand this, what ramifications does it have for the government then in Ireland, especially the Republic? For instance, how do we get this book out? What happens in the morning if everybody knows about this book? What is
the first thing we need to do? We'll need a judicial review, and a judicial review will have to determine whether what we're saying is true or what the government of Ireland is saying is true. Now, we all know the government of Ireland is on Dun and Bradstreet. So therefore, that's the government of Ireland, not the Irish government, but the government of Ireland. So look, we need a judicial review, and the minute the masses know about this, we should get a judicial review, and therefore we'll get rid of them, because what they're doing at the moment, the court did this, Article 39 is it's treason.
So the basic, what you're saying here is under the Irish Constitution, so it's really hard to actually word this here. The government of Ireland, under the Irish Constitution, the government of Ireland are treacherous.
Yes, 100%. Wow. And the opposition that know about it, and the opposition.
And why do you think then the opposition doesn't take up this here? Why do you think even the opposition of the opposition, like the smaller parties that are coming up, like say the Freedom parties?
I don't know about the new parties. But the people like Pat O'Brien and Aintu, that I challenged him a few weeks back. He lied, basically. He denied even any knowledge of the book. He denied of the affidavit. The affidavit we sent him. We sent him the affidavit to 520 people. I'm going to get to that later on. Mm-hmm. I'm going to let you know a bit about that. But look, you know, he denied that he ever seen it, and we have a signature for it. So that, in my eyes, is treason as well, because he has information. He has information that could end all this tomorrow. It could literally. I'm not saying it would, but it could literally end all this tomorrow. And he has that information, and he's choosing not to tell the people.
So under the blue book of under the blue Constitution, would I be right in saying, this is just the thought that have gone through my head here, under the blue Constitution, as you call it, the emergency Constitution? Yeah,
it's emergency. I was going to get to that. I'll get to that soon anyway.
Yeah, and that's the next book we're going to now. Under the emergency Constitution of Ireland, would I be right in saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, all referendums that have been done underneath that are actually null and void? They don't mean for anything under the real Irish Constitution.
Yeah, that's how I see it. Every referendum since the First Amendment is null, should be null and void.
Wow.
Every one of them.
Wow. And do you know what, for the people that are going to tune out now, that are watching after the fact, for the people that are going, where can they get a copy of this book?
Yeah, well, look, like I said, if you want to go to bunreact1937.ie, bunreact 1937.ie, they can download a free PDF. They can download the affidavit. They can look at some of the work that's been put into the website. There's lots of work there. There's lots of information about laws. There's lots of stuff there. If they want to order a hard copy, they have to go onto TikTok, on.bunreact on TikTok, and then send a direct message to the the person who's running the TikTok, and they will get you the hard copy. But if you want a PDF that's free, just go to the website bunreact9037.ie.
Well, I will leave, as I said at the beginning of the live stream, I will leave in all the descriptions on Facebook, on Rumble. I'll be posting this on my X, the website and the link for the website, which will give you a direct access to this website where you can go down, download the PDF file, and or have access to that website, because there's a lot of information on that website. So make sure that you do that now for anybody that's interested in this here, that wants to read into this. And I would suggest, as Sid says, sons and daughters of Era, we must know this information, because armed with this information, our future will be shaped.
That's what I want to get on to. Like, you know, if you're born in Era, which is the whole 32 counties, it's not the 26 counties or the 6 counties. If you're born in Era, right, you're an Irish national. Okay? Like, do not let the government of Ireland legislate for you. You're an Irish national and you belong to a country called Era, right? We are the children of Era. We're the goddess of sovereignty. We're the land of abundance. And that's why they're hitting us so hard. We have everything that they want. We have everything that we need and everything that they want. That's why they're hitting us so hard in this country. And that's why this constitution could help us.
Right. You know? And you want to speak about the affidavit, and I want to know about this here, because this.
I was going to give you a bit of a. I was going to give. Well, it was the affidavit. I have a further down. What I'm going to do was just give you a bit of a background to where this came into play. Okay, that's all I was going to do. So. If you just give me a couple of minutes, I've got a few notes here. I'm going to write them down. I'm going to read them out here. So
the floor is yours, my man. The floor is yours.
Basically, the 21st of January, right, 1919, right, we declared ourselves a republic. Okay, what happened was, to actually be a republic, we needed someone to recognise us. So the French recognised us. That's why in the passport it's in Irish, English, and French, because they actually recognised us as a republic. Okay, so therefore we became a sovereign government, right? Right, and we had a constitution in 1919, right, that was only 5 articles, okay, that was written in gaelach, but it wasn't a constitution for the country. What it was a constitution called bunreact that was rules for the government, for the future government to write a constitution. It was only 5 articles, okay, so that lasted until December 1921. Unfortunately, then what happened was King Edward came in and he brought the Free State Constitution with him, right? So that lasted from 1922, right? And in that Free State Constitution, what there was I'm not going to go through it all, but there was Article 17. And in Article 17, there was an oath to the King, right? That politicians had to swear. I'm not too sure if the citizens had to swear as well, but politicians had to swear an oath to the King, okay? So that was in operation up until 11th of December 1936, and the reason why that ceased to exist was because King Edward abdicated. And once he abdicated, he took his constitution with him. He abdicated because he was marrying a divorcee. I can't really remember her name. I never remember her name, but she, some American divorcee he was marrying, and he wasn't allowed to marry a divorcee and the king at the same time. So he left, and when he left, he took his constitution with him. So at that moment, right, that's when De Valera and the people who wrote this constitution, they seized that moment, right? And they wrote this constitution, and they wrote it in gaelach for a reason, because the gaelach was matching with the 1919, the original 1919 constitution, and therefore, like, it removed the oath to the king, right? And what they did then was they put in Article 63, and now Article 63, right? For me, it's the most important article, right? Other people will say differently, but for me, it's the most important article. So Article 63 says, a copy of this constitution, signed by the Taoiseach, the Chief Justice, and the Chairman of the All Ireland, shall be enrolled for record in the office of the Registrar of the Supreme Court. And such signed copy shall be conclusive evidence of the provisions of this constitution. Right? This constitution, that's an important word. Right? In case of conflict between the Irish and the English text, the Irish text shall prevail. Right? You're probably reading yourself there wrong. Right? That's what it says. Now, when you translate the gaelach back to English compared to the English that's already in the constitution, there is conflict. There's conflict in every single one of the articles. So therefore, the Irish side should always prevail. And at this moment in time, because we haven't got that, all we have is the English to go off. We can't turn around and say, well, the Irish on this side says whatever, and this is better for us. So why are you doing? Why is the government putting this on us? You know, sorry, I can't think of the right words.
No, you're
Right.
fine. No, you're 100% fine. I'm understanding a lot more, and this does take a lot of understanding because
Yeah.
there is so much. It goes right back, and people don't realize this. So you know, like you know, there's so many questions, but I've got. It's like it's so bad what they've done to us here. There's no words to describe this. Like
it's terrible.
This is terrible. Like why? Like
terrible.
this is the real constitution of Ireland.
So we go back to this, right? It's be a bit more before I get back into this, right? So basically, right, this was enacted, right, on the 29th of December, 1937. So from that moment onwards, we were a sovereign nation called Eire, right? So therefore, we were our own country, right? And then from the 29th of December, 1937, right up until the 1st of September, 1939, we were a sovereign nation called Eire. But then obviously Germany invaded Poland. That was the day Germany invaded Poland. So what the people, we'll call them, in Dáil Éireann did was they suspended its constitution under Articles 28.3. Now you have it there, so you can read 28.3 with me.
Question before you said question. This is a question. Why did they suspend it?
It's a good question. I don't know. There's probably smarter people than me that can answer that question. But look,
did they use
in my I can give you an opinion. I'll give you an opinion. I'm not going to give you a fact. I think there was a load of West Brits in the Dáil still, and they were paid off. Basically, that's what I think. Other people disagree with me, but that's what I think.
Okay. That's I mean, a good sort of suggestion there, because I can't understand why anybody would want to suspend that and see the opportunity. And you said 1939, did you say?
1st of September 1939.
So
what they done was they suspended it under Article 28.3, right, which is a time of war. Right.
Okay, let me have a look at this here. Right, I'm going to go to Article 28.
You tell you what, you can read 28.3 out there if you want that.
No, you read it out, because I'll end up butchering it. I don't want any mistakes in this live stream.
Okay, right, okay. So I'll read 28.3. Right, war shall not be declared, and the state shall not participate in any war save with the assent of Dáil Éireann. Okay. In the case of actual invasion, however, the government may take whatever steps they may consider necessary for the protection of the state. And Dáil Éireann, if not sitting, shall be summoned to me at the earliest possible date. Nothing in this constitution shall be invoked to invalidate any law enacted by the Oireachtas which is expressed to be for the purpose of securing the public safety and the preservation of the state in time of war or armed rebellion, or to nullify any act done or purporting to be done in pursuance of any such law. Right. So basically, what that means, right, in a roundabout way, was if there's war on this island, right, they can suspend the constitution and do whatever they can to stop the war. But what the crafty buggers will say, I'm trying to keep the language good. Mm-hmm. But the crafty buggers done was they suspended this constitution and they used the war, Germany invading Poland. So from that moment onwards, right, we were in what's called emergency powers. And we've been basically in emergency powers since the 1st of September 1939. It did cease for a little while in the 70s. But then the Dublin and Monaghan bombings happened and it went back in again. But basically, we've been in emergency powers since then. And because we've been in emergency powers, that's why they're getting away with this. That's the only reason why they get. Because if we weren't in emergency powers, we could hold them accountable, especially with this constitution, especially.
Wow. So what people need to realize is that it's the suspension of this that's worrying to me. They used an article in this here to suspend it itself, but
no.
there was sorry, was I wrong?
No, they did use an article, right? But they used it as a time of war.
Yes,
but
that's
what it really is an artificial time of war.
Yes,
it's a fraudulent time of war, because although there was war happening, it wasn't war in Eire.
That's what it was going to get at.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Ron. Go ahead.
No, you're 100% fine. No, you want this to be clear, and always correct me. Of course, correct me in everything here, because as I say, this is it's like everything wrapped up in this is linguistic. Everything to do with this it's about how you say it. So, for me personally, they used that. There wasn't a war within Ireland. Actually, is there anything in this here to do with Ireland's neutrality? because
No.
there's nothing to do with neutrality.
No.
So that, to me, they used a war situation that wasn't happening in Ireland to suspend this, and for me, it can only be for nefarious reasons.
Yeah. And there's also another thing as well, right? In this constitution, there is an article, right, and it's called transitory powers. It's Article 51. And what that gave them, right, was after the constitution was enacted, it gave them 3 years to make any amendments or changes, right, without having to go to a referendum. But once those 3 years was up, they had to go to a referendum for any amendment after that. But in those 3 years, that's when they done the First Amendment. That's when they changed the meaning of time of war. But in this constitution, it states that enforce must be written in gaelach, which is the first national principal text, and then it must be written in English for it to become a law or an amendment. But it
Can
wasn't.
you explain that to people? Why does it have to be in gaelach? Explain that.
Because Irish is the first national principal language, right? Therefore, like in Article 63, the Irish text shall prevail. The Irish is the first national principal language, so any amendments has to be done. Any amendment to this constitution had to be done in Irish first and then English second. But the First Amendment was only ever done in English. Therefore, that is a fraud. So there's two points of fraud on the First Amendment: the artificial time of war and the fact that was only done in English and never done in Irish.
And what about the Blue Book itself? The Blue Book, is it? I know that's absolutely mad. But the blue, like,
I haven't got a Blue Book, so I don't know. I've only ever seen them bits of it here and there. Like, I haven't got one. I don't know. It's as far as I'm concerned, it's just blue roll. So that's,
see, I'm trying to stay on point, but the only thing that comes to my head is the long game plan and why were we sold out? That's the only thing. Why were we sold out? And the only, I know it's just a speculation. It's not a fact, but the fact that this did happen and it's null and void, and they used a situation that's
the crown is maritime law. Rule Britannia rules the waves. Like that's the law of the sea. Like, and under this constitution, they didn't have as much power. Under this constitution, they wouldn't have had as much power. Whereas once they moved to the Blue Constitution, they had power. They had power for your fines and your taxes and all these stupid things that we do. Like under this constitution, most of that is null and void. Not all of it, but most of it.
And do you think that's what it is then? Do you think it's
I think that's what it is. And
eradicate this because this is for the people, and bring in the blue one because that is for the government. That's for them to
for the
rule.
crown more than anything else.
So are you basically saying to some degree West Brits still run Ireland? Brits still run Ireland.
I'm not basically saying that. I'm outright saying that.
Right, so you're outright saying that and that's where we got into this. I know I don't want to go off on one here. This is for different podcasts, but you talked about the reason why the Dáil is like royal blue, and it's called the Blue Book. It's royal blue. It's royalty. It's straight direct to the monarchy in England. Yeah. So look, now look. We continue on this moment, right? So look, the Second Amendment, right, was on the 30th of May, 1942. That was the first issue of the Blue Book. At that time, it was a light blue book. It wasn't the colour blue it is now. So what they did there was they removed the gaelach text and they brought in the Irish that we know now, which is called Romanic. Romanic is basically Roman civil procedure. There's no Roman civil procedure in the gaelach text. Roman civil procedure is a part of the crown. So they said it was done because of the typewriter. Look, I don't believe that. Look, if you look at the Chinese alphabet, the Hebrew alphabet, I'm sure I'm sure they could have done something. But that's what the research I found. It was because of the typewriter they got rid of the gaelach text. But by 1960, it was more or less all gone. So the Third Amendment, right, was on the 25th of March, 1945, I think it was. I could be wrong there, but it was somewhere around that time. And that amendment was called tidying up the articles, right? So what they did there was they removed the last 13 articles of which Article 63 is part of, right? And like I said, I think that's the most important article, right? Other people see differently, but that's what I think, okay? And what they did as well was they put in the different Article 28.3 with the artificial time of war.
That's what they did. So they removed the Article 28.3 that's in the Clough Gaelic, and they put in the article a new Article 28.3, which is much longer, and it gives meaning to the artificial time of war. It's pure fraud, man.
And is there anything in the Blue Book that references this, or is there anything anywhere in Irish?
On the front, well, I'm not sure about the modern Blue Book, but on the very first amendment with the light Blue Book, it says on it, this is a copy of the text of the original. And I think it says it on the Second Amendment book as well. Look, there's a lot of information here. I don't remember everything, but I think it says on the second that this is a copy of the original text. Okay. So it's not the original text, though. It's just a copy of the original text.
And people just look by that, and what you have to understand when it comes to these books, anything to do with the Irish government, wording is key. It's literally the definition. People are waking up to the language, the media language, but this is law. This is law language. There's a completely different world of English, Irish, any type of language when it comes to law, legislation, constitutions. And what you think you know about this, as you said, you spoke to the solicitor that basically he says he's going to quit his job.
No, well, he didn't say he said he was thinking about quitting. He didn't say he was going to. He said he was thinking about it.
Yeah, thinking about quitting his job. Sorry to misquote him. But you get what I'm saying, because they understand the ramifications that this has. This is probably the most important thing in Ireland, if not the most important, like above everything else that's going on, because this is the book that can save Ireland, is in my opinion. So what else? So what else have you got? I know there's a few things.
Once we prove, and we have proven without a shadow of a doubt by sending that affidavit, once we prove without a shadow of a doubt that the First Amendment was a fraud, every amendment after that will be null and void. Every amendment. Look, that brings us up to present time, right? On the 15th of January 2024, we sent an affidavit. We served the government, every government TD in this island, every government senator, every government MEP up in Ulster. Everybody up in Ulster as well. Every judge in the whole island, a lot of barristers. Who else? There was the Attorney General, the Office of the UK Supreme Court. There was President Macron, Joe Biden, Ursula von der Leyen, Rishi Sunak, the King. That's just a state of few. Like, we served them all with this affidavit, which is a notice of cure, notice of remedy, and notice of jurisdiction, telling them that we, the people of Ireland, we sent it as we, the people of Ireland, we want this corrected. And so far today, nobody has told us we're wrong. We've had a few acknowledgements. We've had an acknowledgement from the Attorney General. We've had an acknowledgement from the UK Supreme Court, who have advised us to seek assistance on the matter and told us that they can't help us because they're not in their jurisdiction, but we should seek assistance on the matter.
Wow.
So I think that's very telling. But look, I'm just going to read out a small bit of the affidavit here. Right? This is here, right? So, like I said, we notice the agent is notice the principal, notice the principal is notice the agent. So, please find and close, we the people of Eire, Exhibit A, the primary law of Eire, which was the Constitution. We sent them a Constitution, right? Exhibit B, a notice containing affidavit, notice jurisdiction, notice cure and remedy, autographs, and people's representatives. So 7 people signed the affidavit. I was one of them, and there were 6 other people. So there was a list of recipients on it as well. And we also told them this: those within the organs of state of the Republic of Ireland, in inverted commas, and Northern Ireland and the United Kingdom, all in inverted commas, have been given 28 days to rebut the facts put before them. Failure to do so will be deemed as acquiescence and therefore stand as facts at law. Sincerely, we, the people of Eire. So therefore, none of them have given us a rebuttal. None of them. Nobody. So as far as I'm concerned, this is now law.
Right. So what people need to realize is this isn't just a Joe Soap willy-nilly thing. This was sent in.
This is a court document. This is a legal court document. Legal, lawful court document.
That these people, that the Irish government has received, or the government of Ireland, should I say, because I need to be careful with my words now, but the government of Ireland has received, right? And they have not sent anything back in defense of what they're doing, or even to destroy the narrative that Sid is going with here. They can't do it because what Sid is saying is 100% fact and correct. So what they can do is, all they have is to ignore Sid. That's why I've dubbed him the most ignored man in Ireland, not as a dig at Sid.
Group, not man, group.
The most ignored group in Ireland, because they are literally coming with law and facts that will completely dismantle every type of referendum, everything that they've brought into Ireland, because they've done that unlawfully, and that in itself makes you to them a very dangerous man. So, I mean, you've never been proven wrong. This isn't wrong, or you would have been proven wrong by now. And whenever, just a question for you, Sid, whenever you're in the company of, say, you've got Into, you've got people, you've been around people that are high up in the political system, what reaction do you get face to face from these people whenever you come?
I've never been, the only one I've ever been in this company of was Paddy Tobin. Paddy Tobin a few weeks ago had a meeting. It's on the TikTok page if you want to share it so people can see it. Paddy Tobin was having a meeting. He was basically introducing two women. They were lovely women. They were really nice. And they spoke very well. And to be honest with you, if I was inclined to, I would vote for them, because they spoke well, and I would have given them a chance, you know. But what he did was he was introducing two women for the local elections and the European elections coming up. So I waited till he was finished, and they came to the question and answers. And then I stood up and I challenged them. And while I was at that meeting, he was all confident and telling us about backbone and accountability, and he's going to do this and he's going to do that. But the minute I stood up, he knew me. He mightn't have known who I was. He mightn't have known my name, but he definitely knew me. And his face dropped. And I was questioning him. And I could nearly see him thinking, you know, don't pull out that yellow book. Don't pull out that yellow book. And I pulled it out. And he went white. He went white. And that's when I challenged him. And that's when he lied. And he said he'd never seen that book before. And he'd never seen the affidavit. I got a bit heated. I was still in honour. I still feel I was in honour. But I got a little bit heated because he was lying to me. And I literally had a signature. I had a signature to prove that he signed for it by registered post in his office. Now, if he didn't sign for it, somebody has fraudulently signed for his signature. And that is against the law. So which is it? Which is it? You're the lying, or somebody has fraudulently signed for your signature, Paddy? Which is it? I called him a liar to his face.
He has seen this, and he gets worried. So, but essentially it makes sense, though, because, for instance, if you are coming to them with proof that they are fraudulent.
Well, yes. Well, look, come here. It's not just me, right? There's a load of us. There's basically the brains behind this is a lad called Mark Anthony. Mark Malloy. He's from up your way. He's from Ulster. I'm not going to give you his area, but he's from Ulster. Yeah. And he's the one that found this constitution. And I found him through COVID. Basically, I was looking, because I didn't take the job, and I was looking for ways around the true constitution. That's how I found him. And we've become friends since then. Like, and he's the main man behind this. And I wouldn't know most of this stuff if it wasn't for him. Everything he's ever told me, and I've researched, it's always been 100% true. Everything, nothing. There's never been a shadow of a doubt. The man is a legend. Like, he's the best researcher I've ever come across in my whole life. If he was working for the government right now, we'd be fucked. I guarantee you that. We'd be fucked. But that's the main man behind this. I've just because I came across you that day, and I'm on TikTok. Like, I'll put it this way: I shared a video with you the other day, Ron, showing the evidence what we have. You've seen it. That man put it on his YouTube channel with nearly 7,000 followers and like 1 million impressions or 1 million views, and the whole it was growing. It was massive. The minute he put them, not the minute, but about an hour and a half after he put that up, that's it. Bang! He was banned from Google. Literally banned from Google, not just YouTube, Google. He cannot get into a Google search. He cannot do anything. And that is very telling. That is very telling.
Yeah, and I think it's very
important. They don't want this out. They don't want you to know about this, and that's why you should know.
People need to understand how serious this is. So, for instance, there's being banned off YouTube. You need 3 strikes to be banned off YouTube, or you get an instant strike if you're like sharing pornography to the screen. It's like an instant strike, an instant deletion. But to be banned from Google, to not be able to use the search engine Google, or to have access to that information, you have been banned by the biggest informational database in the whole world, which is an indication there's only very few people that have been banned, people that are releasing information on the Jeffrey Epstein case and the one case of that. So the fact that that information comes into the same bracket as, say, FBI and CIA documents is an indication that somebody high up in big tech in Ireland era, should I say, has pulled the strings in the background to make sure that that video is taken down. and they've done that for them. So it's heavy, sensitive, correct information that will possibly dismantle every narrative that the government is spinning right now, and everything that they've legislated and everything that they've done, because they're not doing right by the Irish people, because this here is for the sons and daughters of Éire, and they're not constitutionally protecting us. They're constitutionally protecting themselves, and that's why he was taken off by the biggest informational database in the world.
Yeah. Look, there's a lot of work on it, right? But J.M. Kelly, he's the main man who wrote in this book, and he's even like I haven't read the book as much as Mark has, right? But he's even said in it, right, that there's basically two constitutions running side by side. And there was one thing that he said, right? What was it? Oh, the destiny of the Irish Constitution, right? Not only depends on its nobility, but it also depends on the watchfulness of the people of Éire. That's basically what he said. So we've taken our eye off the ball, and I'm imploring people now, whoever's watching this, share this as much as you can. I don't care if I go missing. Fine, I'll get 2 of them back in the head. I don't care. It doesn't matter. But share this as much as you can. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for my kids. I'm doing this for the kids' future. That's what I'm doing this for. Share this as much as you can and get this out there, because it's up to us, the citizens, the nationals, the Irish nationals, not citizens, the Irish nationals of this country, to get this out there and to save it, because this will protect us if it's used properly. I know there's a lot of people who don't like Constitution. I know that. But they're running scared of this. They are running scared of this. I know they are. Because I know if enough people know about it, it ends. It ends.
Everything that's happening in Ireland right now in regards to the mass migration, to what they're teaching kids in school, to how they're treating the Irish people, the people, of Éire, everything that you hate in Ireland right now, and Éire, sorry, I'm learning, Sid. I'm learning.
It's fine, man. It's fine.
I'm learning. This eradicates everything. And you're not just doing it in a violent way, because it's not violent. You're doing it in a lawful way, and that's why it's being suppressed.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't have said it better myself.
It's I mean, is there any more information that you have there that you want to give out?
Look, there's loads of information. I just wanted to give you like the basics of what happened. What happened from 1990 onwards, and how this came into play, and. Do you know what, Sid? I think, for the first interview and for the baseline and the basics, because we could do 6 or 7 of these, right? I think for retention and for people to understand that information and to take away from that, I don't think we should speak about it anymore. Until we'll do a second. 100%.
That's the basics of what you need to know. Yeah. But then in other episodes, and maybe Sid will go on other platforms and talk about that, which I'll direct people to, because it's
always here's what you're around. Always stick to the basics, because the basics are the foundation of everything else.
Yes, and that's what I'm trying to say. So maybe what it's best now to end the interview at that, and then on the second part, we will get into the other nitty gritty of it, and maybe we'll talk about other things. But that is the basics of it, and I would like it wrapped up in, like, we're coming up to an hour now, 50 minutes, and that is information that's good. 50 minutes of information that people can take away and retain, because any more information and people won't be able to retain it because it's too much. It's far too complicated. This is going to take about 2 or 3 separate podcasts and interviews to do. Would you be happy with ending it there, or was there anything else?
I'm happy with ending it there. Look, there's a lot more to come about the patent referendum that's coming up, and the international relations and the courts. Look, there's a lot in that as well. So look, we need 2 or 3 probably podcasts, yes, to be honest with you.
Yes.
Well, look, I'd have to get more notes together as well, because it's just so much. There's so much up here at the moment that I don't want to do the podcast in injustice.
Of course, 100%. And as I say, guys, if you want to get this information, the link for all this information can be found in the descriptions. If you're watching on Rumble, find in the description. If you're watching on X, I'll post that in X after the fact. If you're watching on Facebook, I'll post it in the comment section in the description. The link for the website where you can go and get the book, and you can download the PDF file for free, and arm yourself with this information. This will save Ireland. And
just go to the website www.bunreact1937.ie, bunreacht 1937.ie. Download the PDF. Get used to it. If you want a hard copy, then go to the TikTok on .bunreact, and you'll get it. You'll get a hard copy. You'll have a hard copy within 3 to 4 days.
There you go.
Just go to it, download it. The more people that know it, share it, the better.
And that's it.
This is not going to work without the people. If 5 of us go up, they're going to laugh at us. If 500,000 of us go up, that's different.
Take a screenshot there, guys. Sarah Jane has just put a comment to the scribe. Put the comment of Sarah of what Sarah Jane has written, and that is there. Take a screenshot of that, and also I'll leave a link in the descriptions and whatever platform this is on, which will give you a direct link to that website. Arm yourself with this information before they suppress it even further. This is information that you need to know. This is information that could save Ireland. Sid, you've been absolutely fantastic. You've done a fantastic job getting that basic information out. In other episodes, we'll be diving into the nitty gritty and 100%. Understanding everything to do with this. I'm very, very interested. Sid, great man. That is the end of the show.
Thanks for having me on, Ron. Thanks for having me on, Roy. And I promise you, next time I'll have a better position in my house than the window. I promise you. This is the best place. The Wi-Fi and there's a charger beside me. That's the best. That's the reason why.
That's all you said with the information that you're given. That's all you need. People just need to hear this, so don't worry about that. You listen. You're being fantastic.
It doesn't matter what I look like or not. It's not about me. It's about the information. It's about getting it out there. That's what it's all about.
Exactly. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks everybody that's tuned in on Facebook, Rumble, and X. Make sure to share, like, follow. And actually, the most important thing to do is to share this here, because the more you share this here, the more people are going to see. That is the end of the podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in, and peace out.